Good morning and welcome to another edition of Our Town here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swinson. Our Town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. On the show this morning, a little later on in the program, we will talk to Tom Barnes. He is with the mighty Howard County Fair in Cresco as fair season gets underway next week in Cresco. Will tell us all about that event. Fun event coming up tomorrow and Saturday in Lawler. It's Lawler Irish Fest, and Ben Larson will join us from Lawler Irish Fest to talk about all the fun stuff going on there this weekend. But our first conversation this morning will be with Paul Wagner. He is with the Waukon Police Department, in fact, the police chief in Waukon, and an issue that is affecting Waukon as well as many other law enforcement entities. There's been a lot of accidental 911 calls and 911 hangups as of late, thanks to a technology change with Android phones. And Paul will tell us about that subject and talk about a couple other subjects to kick off the Our Town program this morning. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Well, last time we did a Zoom with Chief Wagner. He talked to a black box. He's now talking to a human being. Victory is ours, at least for this moment. Paul Wagner is the police chief in Waukon. And the subject that we're talking about this morning is an increase in accidental 911 calls. And you were the first one that brought this to my attention. You brought it up at a Waukon City Council meeting, and I'm starting to read it more and more in news media and from law enforcement entities. Explain to us why law enforcement entities like yourselves are seeing such a substantial increase in accidental 911 calls.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me back again. From what I understand, phone companies, not necessarily the provider, but the actual, like Samsung or Apple or whatever phone company, initiated, in this case, I think it's Android actually, initiated an update on all Android phones. And anyone that previously opted out of SOS, some type of emergency reporting capability, anyone that previously opted out of that, this update, from what I understand, reinitiated that or turned that back on.
And how big of an issue has it been in Alamakee County and with your department in particular?
We've definitely seen a huge increase in 911 calls and more so the 911 call disconnects or hangups, where someone realizes that their phone accidentally called 911 and they try to hang up quick or didn't figure that it went through. And anyway, one way or the other, they ended the phone call. So dispatch in Alamakee and in all these law enforcement areas that are receiving these calls are getting dead air. So then the question arises whether the person intended to hang up or reception was an issue or something else occurred, maybe emergency related, that ended that call.
And you touched on that last part. How concerning is that from a law enforcement perspective? Because you don't want to automatically assume somebody is just hanging up because they accidentally called 911 and they're in a dire situation and the cell phone connection, for whatever reason, couldn't make that connection. How concerning is that aspect to a law enforcement officer like yourself?
Our number one priority here is to make sure that our citizens and anyone traveling through our area is safe. So until we are able to guarantee that that person is safe, or at least make our best effort to make sure that that person is safe, there's a pending concern that they're not safe. We assume that they're not safe until we can guarantee that they are. So when these 911 disconnects occur, and we actually have it in policy here that we make every effort possible to make contact with that person or go to the area that this call may have been made if we don't know who the person is or what the phone number is, and try to find somebody in distress, or hopefully find somebody that says, hey, I accidentally called 911 and everything is fine. But we do put an emphasis on actually physically going and checking on that person. We would hate to have a situation where somebody maybe is forced to say that they're okay when they're not. So we get a lot of people that would really prefer that we didn't show up, just I suppose out of embarrassment. But more importantly for us is that we just want to make sure that they actually are okay as they said that they are.
And yeah, obviously, from the outside looking in, definitely respect the better safe than sorry approach that you're taking with this matter. But I'd imagine if you're seeing a substantial increase in accidental 911 calls, that takes a lot of resources and manpower away from your overall duty to the community. Would that be fair to say?
It is fair to say, and we get people that profusely apologize for those. And we're here 24/7. We obviously have a lot of things to do, but I don't want anybody to think that it's an inconvenience. We're just happy to show up on a scene and find somebody that is safe and just had a mishap with their phone. So, but like I said, we're out 24/7. So a drive across town is likely the only inconvenience that we maybe would have had.
What can people, especially with the androids, do to prevent this from happening?
So I'm not super familiar with androids. I know, I think actually, I take that back. We did not put it on our Facebook page on how to disable that if somebody chooses to, just because we don't want to get in the business of trying to tell people to turn off emergency services. But if someone were to opt out of that or wants to opt out of that, you can definitely get online and find resources that can tell you how to turn it off on either an Apple phone or an Android phone. Like I said, law enforcement, especially our agency, is not going to direct somebody on how to do that just because we don't want to be liable for that being turned off. And from what I understand, Android, especially, if somebody hits a power button on that phone 4 times in a row, that's what initiates these calls. So a lot of the people that we talk to are telling us that the phone was in their pocket and they were doing some type of activity, whether it was mowing the lawn or something of that sort. And with the phone in their pocket, that's what's initiating this emergency call.
And the reason basically we're having this conversation is to just make people aware that this is a possibility and maybe to do what they can to avoid it from being that possibility. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we always prefer that people stay on the line with 911 if whether intentional or unintentional, they make a phone call to 911. But I'll tell you right now that even if you stay on the phone with dispatch, Waukon Police Department will still be coming to make sure that you're okay.
All righty. Obviously, it's something that affects a lot of law enforcement agencies, and it's just good to get that awareness out, especially if you have an Android, which I did a few years ago. My wife made me move up to the iPhone world, but we're not here to debate which phone is better on that end of things. But as always, when we're talking about certain subjects with law enforcement, I welcome you to bring up anything else that you would like the public to know regarding anything related to the Waukon Police Department. The floor is yours, Chief.
I appreciate that. And real quick, before we leave that topic, I did look up our stats from May, and we did have at least 34 911 hangups in the month of May. So we're receiving at least, if not more than one per day. And to jump to you giving me the floor, I just, as I mentioned to you, wanted to point out or give a shout out to Mr. Caleb Faring at the Elmicky Community Schools. Him and the high school medals class built lockers for the Waukon Police Department. We've been talking about it for several months, and Caleb was very willing to take on that project for us, and we have received them, and we're very happy with the outcome. We're also happy that the students were able to work on a project that had some meaning. These lockers will be around probably after I retire from the police department. So it's pretty cool that they were able to build something that is going to have a long-term place here at the police department.
And you're still a pretty young man, though, Paul.
I I know how many years I have left. I'm on the downhill slope.
All right, Paul. We appreciate you taking some time to talk about an issue that's been an issue among many law enforcement entities, not only in our part of the world, but beyond that point. And also great to discuss the partnership that you had with the high school medals class, helping out the Waukon Police Department. Paul, we thank you for taking the time, and thank you and everybody in Waukon's Police Department for what they do for our community.
Thank you very much for having me. And as always, if anyone has questions, concerns, anything like that, we're here 24/7. Give us a call. We would be happy to answer questions or check out anything that would be concerning to people. So we appreciate public feeling comfortable coming to us.
Paul Wagner is the police chief in Waukon. Coming up this weekend, everyone is going to be Irish as it's Lawler Irish Fest, and Ben Larson with Lawler Irish Fest is joining us here. And Ben, how many years has this event been going now?
This will be our 9th year, so coming up on our 10-year anniversary. But yeah, our 9th year. It seems like crazy that it's been 9 years since we started this. But yeah, no, it's we're super excited for this year. So.
And without community support, the help of volunteers, business donations, everything like that, the festival doesn't last in today's day and age. And obviously, the community backs this event.
Correct. Yes. Yep. Yeah. We have all sorts of people from around from Lawler and the surrounding communities that definitely have been helping us out with donations, and it always seems like the citizens of Lawler and as well as the surrounding communities come together and help volunteer for the events. Always, and we're always looking for more, just like any other event like this. So if you are interested in volunteering or donating, all that information is out on our website, LawlerIrishFest.com.
And all the fun gets underway tomorrow night. Tell us about the Friday schedule.
Yeah, so Friday gets going. We actually do have a best shot golf tournament at Jackson Heights in Jackson Junction there. That starts in the morning, and then our events downtown start beginning at 6. Is when our main tent will open. We'll have our opening ceremony, and then we have two entertainment acts that night. We have the Wapsie River Ramblers, which is a rockabilly blues group from New Hampton area. They're very, very good. I know the guys personally. They're great. And then our big show, our headliner for Friday is the J.R. Brink Band, which is up from Waukon area. So I know probably some of your listeners might be familiar with them. A great cover band, does everything classic rock, pop, country, blues. So we're extremely excited to have them this year. I've seen them multiple times. They always put on a great show. So.
And Friday night's going to be fun, but you guys are just getting started after Friday night, because Saturday, the fun just continues. Tell us about the schedule Saturday.
Yep. So Saturday, we've got all sorts of events throughout the day. As far as entertainment-wise, the main tent opens at 1 p.m. And then we've got a slew of Irish acts, which is, it can't be an Irish fest without Irish acts. So on starting at 2 p.m., we have the Rochester Pipes and Drums. Followed by the Champaign Academy of Irish Dance from down by Iowa City. Extremely excited to have them back. Then Father Placid, which is Mike McAbee, his newest group, up from Decorah, Waukon area as well. Followed by the Crowfoot Rakes, which is an up-and-coming Iowa Irish band from Des Moines. Followed by Blame Not the Bard, which is probably the biggest Irish band out of Iowa right now. I believe last year, 2 years ago, they had an IPTV special recorded. So this will be our third time having them, and we're extremely excited to have them. And then finally, the night wraps up with Birdchild, one of the bigger up-and-coming cover bands in Iowa, coming out of Iowa. Extremely excited to have them. But as far as the entertainment-wise, it's not just the music. We also have all sorts of events and activities throughout the day. As far as for the kids, we do have kids activities at a park within walking distance, inflatables, kids games, balloon artists, as well as face painting, Irish dance lessons, coins in the sand. And then both nights we are doing an outdoor movie at dusk at that park, so the kids will have activities to do throughout the evening as well. As well as some other activities. We do have a 5K Saturday morning, and the Freedom Rock in Lawler is getting dedicated at 10 a.m. And then we have our Grand Parade, which is also one of our pride and joys there for Irish Fest. That's at 1 o'clock. And then we also have a car show going on Saturday as well, immediately after the parade. As well as the Lawler Historical Society is going to have a display in the Starlight Ballroom, just a half a block away from where our main tent is. So, yeah, loads of activities, as well as food, drinks. We'll have ribeye and pulled pork sandwiches provided by Lynch Barbecue, and grilled brats and hot dogs provided by the Lawler Fire Department. So, yeah, we've got a jam-packed evening, both Friday and Saturday, and throughout the day, Saturday, it's going to be a blast. So we're really looking forward to it.
So something for everyone, in other words, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We try to hit all the bases with that. So.
And any small town festival, as you talked about, food's a big part of it. If you walk away from Irish Fest hungry, it's your own darn fault, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We're extremely fortunate to have Lynch Barbecue providing us with pork products and some sides, as well as ribeye sandwiches, and then the fire department's providing those brats. And I always dabble in a little bit of everything while I'm there, and I can always attest to it that it's always fantastic. So,
anything we're missing, Ben? Anything else you want to pass on about Irish Fest coming up this weekend?
Nope. I guess the main things is we're always looking for volunteers and donors. So if you guys are, if anybody's interested, like I had mentioned before, all of our information is out on LawlerIrishFest.com. Also, this one new thing this year we're doing is we are doing a UTV raffle. So we are selling tickets to that as well. It's $100 a ticket. We're only selling 220 tickets. And I do know that tickets are running out. So if you are interested, you can find us on Facebook at Lawler Irish Fest. And you can message us on there and reserve a ticket for yourself. Otherwise, we will be selling them Friday and Saturday until they're all gone. So always looking to do that, and we're just extremely excited for this year, and hoping to raise a decent amount of money to basically give back to the community. We've got some projects planned to help out with parks in there in Lawler, and just want to be able to help out wherever we can in the community. So that's always the main thing that we're looking to do with Lawler Irish Fest, besides putting on this great party that we always do. So,
and giving back to the community and the small town festivals in the summertime are a big part of summer here in our part of the world, and Lawler Irish Fest is always a good time. I look forward to being there to help you guys out with the parade on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and should be a great weekend in Lawler, always is. Best of luck with the festival this weekend, Ben, and thanks for the time.
Yep, thank you, Darren.
Ben Larson, Lawler Irish Fest coming up tomorrow and Saturday. Well, that fun time of year is upon us. It's county fair time, and next week, the county fair season in our area will get underway with the mighty Howard County Fair, and Tom Barnes with the mighty Howard County Fair joining us. And Tom, it's always a fun and exciting time of year. I know you've been at this for a year or two, with all due respect. Does it ever get old for you?
It doesn't get old. It gets harder, but it doesn't get old. You know, when you work up to fair prep, and anybody on any county fair will tell you, you get excited and you get to that point whether are we gonna be ready or not. But when the gates are open on the first day and the people are streaming in, the midway's running, you're having a good time, then you understand. Yep, well, we're ready, and let's have some fun.
Going back a couple of years to 2020, when most county fairs didn't take place that year, did it make maybe all of us appreciate what county fairs bring to the table that much more?
You know, Darren, that's a very good point. We saw, through the Association of Iowa Fairs, we saw quite a resurgence in attendance at the fairs in 21. And we were thinking, well, you know, it's just probably a year off. The people wanted something to do, of course, is what everybody, that was the big word, something to do. Let's get out and do things. But in 22, that continued. the fairs really did themselves a good job of marketing what they have to offer to the public. You know, sometimes a county fair is its best, doesn't blow its horn as enough as it should. And, you know, it's just to make sure that we as fairs survived through the pandemic. We really did a good job of telling our people, even our local people, of what we do and what we provide. You know, very fun and family friendly events, affordable, lots to do and lots to see. And if people just look past the fairs always have the grandstand entertainment up, and people look to that, but there's a lot to a county fair besides your grandstand entertainment. So it's been really good, good crowds. We'll see what 23 has to bring us, but I'm anticipating the same.
And you brought up the point of a lot of people think about fairs. You think about the Midway, you think about the grandstand entertainment, but you also look at the 4-H FFA end of things. You think about the young people's opportunities that are given to them through county fairs. That, to me, where fairs and communities really make their connection. Would you agree?
That is totally true. The reason county fairs exist is because of, number one, our youth programs. We're there for the youth. We're there to help them showcase their efforts. And we're also there to showcase the diversity and I call it the cultural ethnicity of our communities. And they're all different. And nowhere else can you see such a group, a crowd, or a gathering that has multi interests highlighted than a county fair. But no, we're there for the kids, number one, and then we're there for the county or the communities, number two. Everything else there is fluff. We want to make sure that we recognize county fairs are all about our youth.
And of course, as I transition from that question, obviously the grandstand entertainment is one of the highlights of the fair, and one of the reason people go out. Might run down the grandstand entertainment, which will be starting next week.
Yeah, this year we're struggling a little bit in the past years of motorsports events, and trying to do different things. They're getting fewer and fewer between, other than a typical race program. So the board decided, let's run two programs and separate them. Typically, we tried to blend our local classes that normally run Renishik Raceway and Fayette County Speedway and Deer Creek and the others around us into a couple nights. This year, we're going to feature our local classes, all 5 of them, on Wednesday night. USRA sanctioned classes, like I said, the same stars and cars you see at the local racetracks will be Wednesday night at our fair, be paying national points for the USRA sanctioned cars. So Thursday night we pulled up when we're doing a series race for the Hoker Trucking Super Late Models, plus the Upper Midwest Sprint Car Series will be at the fair. And then for our third class, we added USRA Modifieds. And we're working with USRA to get that class promoted. It'd be really nice to see a nice field of those cars there as well. As you know, we used to race them every week here in Cresco, and you got to go up into Minnesota to see a weekly USRA Modified run anymore. So we're going to try to bring them back to the track and feature them on Thursday night, along with the super late models and the sprint cars. Friday night, country recording artist Lauren Elena. Really excited about bringing her to our fair. It's the first time we've had a headliner female entertainer at our fair for several years, and we actually put an offer in on her last year, and she went on tour. So we weren't able to book her in 22, but this year her tour starts a little later. So we're able to get Lauren. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a really good show. Saturday night, of course, the fan favorite around here, if you like rock and roll, is Hairball. We hosted Hairball 2 or 3 years in a row some time ago, and we couldn't get them back. And finally they're traveling. They're going to focus in the Midwest. So we're able to bring Hairball back this year on Saturday night, and then Sunday night, TNC Rodeo, bulls, barrels, and mutton busting. The big 3 that people like to see in a rodeo will be at the fair on Sunday night.
And we see the end product and the schedule that comes out year in and year out on the grandstand end of things. How long does it take to put your grandstand lineup together?
Well, our concerts, we start like in September.
Yeah.
Usually we won't get any confirmation, especially like on a national artist like Lauren Elena, until the agents meet in Nashville in it's sometime in October-ish, late October, where they buy their acts, as they call it. They buy so many dates of an entertainer, and then they go out and sell those dates. But we usually put in an offer on our first choice right at probably our October meeting, and we put a deadline to hear. So if that doesn't work out, then we can move on to the next one. So the concerts are the big one. They're getting to be so many fairs doing music now, which is great. That you really have to get ahead of the game to pick up somebody like a Lauren Elena. They're expensive. There's no getting around it. This entertainment these days is getting out of hand as far as costs, but as long as we can still provide it and come out ahead, that's all we want.
And I know you were one of the first fairs in this area to do the grandstand button thing.
Yep.
Years ago. What type of arrangement do you have for grandstand entertainment this year from a purchase perspective?
We started the button in 1985. We're the first fair in Iowa actually to offer a pay one price fee to get in our grandstand, of course, for free gate and parking. And we've continued that tradition. We saw several years ago, actually, there's that group of people that have interests, and especially as you grow into this business, you understand there's different types of entertainment interests. And we had people ask, well, I just want to go to this or that. And, we've all heard that. So we decided several years ago that we would offer the button all 5 nights. But if you wanted to go to just a single night, we have a single night admission. They're competitively priced. They're not that expensive. Basically what you would see on a regular basis. So you can purchase a ticket. You can walk up to the grandstand gate if you just want to go to the super late model show, buy your ticket and go in, and you don't have to buy the more expensive button. And it works out pretty good.
And midway wise, Evans United shows once again.
Evans United shows, as you know, I've been in this area for many years, as I do service the Winnebago County Fair too in our area. They've been with us since 1974.
Wow.
And they started with the Howard County Fair back then. And the next year they signed with Clear Lake, and they've been with Clear Lake ever since. So it's Howard County Fair. Then the next week they go Clear Lake for the 4th of July. So great family, the Evans family, and the third generation now, I should say, is moved into the managing of the carnival, along with Tom and Nancy. His daughter Erin and husband Jason are forefront now within the Evans United shows. So it's great family entertainment, a great midway. That's in many states, that is a state fair midway. And we're just pleased that we can have them here in Iowa.
And from what I understand, they got a couple of wristband nights, and you can pre-purchase midway tickets. Correct?
Yep, we just got them. Just got them out this week, actually. Friday night and Sunday afternoon are wristband specials. $25. You can pre-buy it at our local banks here in the area and our Cresco Welcome Center. So turn that in. You'll save $5 on a wristband. Friday night is a packed night on the midway. A lot of people, of course, and with our big concert that night, it'll be a big night. And then, of course, Sunday afternoon, we call it Family Day on the midway. And that is also a full afternoon of people having fun on the midway.
Anything we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on, Tom?
Yeah, there's a lot of free entertainment. Our fair has really been known for going out and offering a lot of different free entertainment opportunities for our fairgoers. We have 25 fairgoer contests like kolache, cookies, decorate a wood pallet, you name it. The gals have put something together that's pretty neat. Just a lot of neat things. This year, it's, when we talked about the pandemic here earlier in 21, we saw a downturn in food and vendors and our commercial vendors in the expo center. And last year it was okay, not like we used to see. We used to have a waiting list, but the last couple of years we have not, and actually we've been down on space. But this year it's come back. We've got more vendors this year as far as food vendors than we've had in many years, and different types of food opportunities. We don't try to have 5 hot dog stands. You got these guys have to make a living, but there's some really neat different offerings here. And fair food is, as you've been in the fair business a long time too. That's one of the highlights of a county fair is people head to the food court. Just a lot of different things going on. We have a really neat beer garden, has live entertainment every night. Just a lot to see and do.
And a lot of people from the community helping you sponsor the fair itself or certain events. What does that community connection mean to the fair?
It's really a neat deal because we upped our sponsorship program this year, not just going out and say, hey, can you give us a few bucks? But we actually went to these people, the opportunity that we can showcase them. And it's turned out to be a marvelous opportunity for us to not only bring in substantially more sponsorship dollars, but it also, our sponsors now have more of a buy-in to our fair. And we recognize that with signage and social media. If you come to the fair, you'll see an awful lot of banners. You'll see signs along 7th Street getting into the fairgrounds. It's a really neat deal. It helps us provide this entertainment at a lower cost. That's the big thing is this, grounds entertainment. Anything you do with grounds entertainment is $10,000 for 5 days. When you have 3 or 4 of those, it gets kind of spendy. So you need the help to bring that here. We've seen in some of our businesses here now having family days at the fair where they bring their company, puts a package together with meal tickets, midweight rides, and some other packages that the fair helps them put together. And they have family days at the fair, which brings hundreds of people in to the fair besides everybody else. So you're seeing the community now buying into the fair where it's local. We're going to support it. We get a value out of doing that because of our visibility there. And it's just been a good thing for the Mighty Howard County Fair.
All right, Tom, we appreciate you taking some time talking about the fair. I know you always get the fair season off to a great start here in Northeast Iowa with the Mighty Howard County Fair coming up next week. Best of luck to you. As my dad always says, if it rains, I hope it doesn't between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. And hopefully it'll be a great week of fair for the fair over in Cresco next week. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, Darren. Yep, it's all up to the weather gods now.
All right, I'll make a couple of phone calls for you. Tom Barnes.
Thank you.
Mighty Howard County Fair next week in Cresco. Thank you to our guest on the program this morning, Waukon Police Chief Paul Wagner. I thank Ben Larson from Lawler Irish Fest. That's coming up this weekend in Lawler, and Tom Barnes from the Mighty Howard County Fair, which begins next week. And I'd be remiss, even though we didn't get a guest on from this program or from this event coming up this weekend. It's the Big Four Fair starting tomorrow night in Postville, and that's always a fun event as well. And it's getting to be that time of year for the small town festivals and small town fun and entertainment. Go out and enjoy those things. It's all part of summer in our part of the world. It's all a part of all the fun and excitement of getting together with your neighbors, getting together and enjoying your community and giving back to your community as well. Make sure you take advantage of that this summer. It's all a big part of where we live and giving back to our community. And that's what we try to do on this program. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube each and every week. We realize you're busy people. Can't always be near a radio or a streaming device at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we feel we get to talk to some interesting people, and we want to bring those conversations to you on your schedule. So for today, just go to 615 Our Town program. If you're out searching on YouTube, we also put these up on all of our Facebook pages for LA Communications. Another way we do our best to serve our communities here at LA Communications. Again, thank you to our guests. Thank you to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. And most importantly, thank you for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching our town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.